This thing will get you into trouble pretty quick. Remember, before you ride, say a prayer before you go, put Jesus on the front. The Yamaha Sport Tourer that just won't die. The FJR 1300. Let's check it out. Seat has two settings, low and high. I've gotten the low setting because I'm only 5'9.5". That's life. These are detachable. They pop right off of here if you need them to. And you get a center stand under there. That's pretty cool. All right, so in the wintertime, you can push these out. So it gives you a wider fairing. So you get a little bit more wind protection. See this toggle right here? Pretty much does it all. You know, and there's your heated grip settings. There's your windscreen, up and down. There's sport and touring on the traction control. Let's take this thing on the highway, give it the beans, and see what those 140 horses have to say. Now, you know what? Let's put it on sport mode. It's dry. You got anti-lock brakes. You got traction control. All right. Well, my hip flexors are already telling me with this seat in the lowest mode that perhaps it was a mistake, and I probably should have put it in the higher setting. Oh, because man, that distance for me, that distance between your seat and your foot pegs right there, that has to be a little wider for me to be comfy. Oh man, seriously. All right, that's okay. I'm gonna deal with it. Test riding an FJR 1300. I'm complaining about the seat position. Definitely first world problems. All right, inline 4, 140 horses. This thing is 640-ish pounds wet. 6.6 gallon tank. You know what? I like things that are kind of shaped like this, a little heavier. This reminds me a lot of my K1200. Not quite as fast or as zippy as my ZX14. I can already feel that in the throttle. But I will tell you that this clutch pull is right easy. All right, let's give it the beans. Oh yeah, this thing will get you into trouble pretty quick. Pretty darn quick. Let's see if the turn signals are self-canceling. And I'm saying that's a no. They are not self-canceling. High speed, no problem. And that's pretty sure that's what it's designed for. Now I will say I've got this windscreen up in its highest setting, and I'm still getting a lot of wind buffeting and stuff. You gotta sort of tuck down like this, no wind. Come up here, normal riding position, you're gonna get some wind. So you might want to put a little extender on here if you're looking at buying one of these. I would actually consider that if I was going to be touring with it. For those of you who don't know, I'm TG MotoRider. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. I review motorcycles. I've had 17 bikes and I test ride bikes all the time. I'm a daily rider year-round, so even in the winter, as long as it's not a sheet of ice, I'm pretty much on one of my bikes. You can just put the windscreen down. There, just put it down. Heck with it. I mean, this is where I'd want it anyway if it starts raining, believe that or not. I like the wind to clear my visor when it starts raining. These are unified ABS, so the front and rear brake system are chatting. Alright, let's hit this thing. Oh yeah, I was at 60 in no time at all. Let's put this up a little bit. Some people have gotten it to 2.8 on the 0 to 60. I totally believe that. You've got a 120 on the front. You got a nice fat 180 tire on the back. This thing is so stupidly planted, and to be honest with you, I like the 644 pounds. I'll tell you, my Kawasaki Versus 650, I like it, but it's so light in the wind that you just get knocked around on the highway. And unfortunately, I live in Missouri where it's pretty much windy every day. Alright, let's get around these people here. 6th gear is not some token overdrive. It's actually a functioning gear in the process of getting your bike to 140 or more. This does remind me very much of my K1200. Although it's smoother than my K1200 and it has less quirks than my K1200. Not quite as quirky. If there's I don't know if there's a better way of saying that. It's not as quirky as my BMW. And it's more civilized than my ZX14, which is just raw, angry, horsepower that'll just tear you apart. This seems to have a little more balance. This seems to have a little more sense to it. This seems to be a little more civilized, set up for touring, of course. The trinkets it does have are all functional and necessary. There's your cruise control. Let's just hit that, set it. And cruise control is instant. Instant. As soon as I hit the set button, there wasn't that half-second delay like on my Goldwing where I hit it and then a half-second goes by as the bike slows down and then the bike speeds back up. None of that. You hit it, it's set, you're doing exactly what you set it on. Light tap of the brake and the cruise control's off. I like this thing. It feels very sure of itself. If you like a sport bike but you want a more comfortable sport bike, get the Sport Tourer. This thing's amazing. This FJR 1300, it's amazing. I think it looks great. Smooth suspension, 5.2 inches in the front, 4.8 in the back, I believe. And it's a right soft ride, man. It's a real soft ride. The clutch is easy. Everything about this bike is just easy to deal with. The only thing I wouldn't want to deal with necessarily is trying to get to the spark plugs or the air filter under this mess. I don't think I'd like that very much. Let's get around this debris. Somebody lost a tire. It's not getting buffeted around. It's not getting bopped around. The wind isn't taking it and moving it around. It is dead planted, man. It's a windy day. I'm doing 76. Tractor trailers and stuff on the highway. I'm on a flat highway in Missouri. And this bike ain't moving. Now you can take these screws out and move these handlebars, which is really cool. Smooth, quick throttle, smooth braking. Everything about this thing is so precise. And I know it's 644 pounds, but it doesn't really come off that way. It's not a big heavyweight, doofy, top heavy. It's not like my BFR 1200X. That is a top heavy son of a gun, man. This thing does not come off as top heavy. Not at all. It comes off as very, very capable. This bike is one of those, I really didn't know I was doing 85. It's like, this bike is actually bored with me, to be honest with you. It's bored with me. It's completely bored with me, and it's quiet. This motor is so quiet in 6th gear. I'm doing almost 80, and I can barely hear it. Even though it's tacking a 3800, I can barely hear it. It's so quiet. Very easily live with this motorcycle. I think this one's coming in around 16,000-ish. The way they got it listed, it's a 2023. I'm seeing the magic and the beauty here, to be honest with you. Engine braking is good. This gearbox is so civilized. It is so stupidly civilized. And this clutch pull is easy. And it's got a slipper clutch, of course. The brakes are nice and even. They're bitey and good. You got twin rotors on the front. They better be. And it has a gear indicator right there. I'm in second now. In second gear. Second gear easily gets you to 60 with ease and speed. And I know I love motorcycles, so a lot of times it is hard for me to find the flaws in them, even in bad motorcycles. Sometimes I really have to look for, wait a minute, what would get on my nerves about this bike? If I owned this bike and lived with this bike every single day, what would get on my nerves about this bike? That's the way I have to look at things, and I've reviewed a lot of motorcycles. I can honestly say the only thing that would get on my nerves about this bike is what I would have to do to get a GPS on it. I can't complain about the throttle. I can't complain about the 0 to 60. I can't complain about the stability at high speeds. I can't complain about the brakes. I can't complain about the cruise control. First gear's got really good pull. Second gear, man, look at the torque in second, man. I mean, seriously, I can't find anything wrong with it. And usually there is something glaring where you're like, you know what I don't like? You know what I mean? Let me see. The seat's wide enough to where I'm not feeling like I'm crushing my lower region. If, some sport tours, the seat they give you is too narrow. And this one feels good. Supportive, I might aftermarket the seat, I don't know. I'm going to take it over here to a parking lot. I'm going to slow maneuver it and tell you what I think. It almost checks off every box. Like, if you want something fast, you're in good shape, but if you also just want to chill and cruise, you're in great shape. Safety measures are in place. You got your traction controls, you got your touring mode, which is kind of like rain mode. You got sport mode and touring mode. I want to find something wrong with it. I really do. I mean, maybe the windscreen. Yeah, there you go. Maybe it just come up a little bit more like that on the standard, you know? The windscreen. Give me that much more on the windscreen, and then my helmet won't buff it. There, I found something. And the GPS. You know, there's really no easy place to just clamp on a GPS, really. All right, let me slow maneuver this thing. Let's see what we're dealing with here. I'm going to turn this all the way to the left and see how difficult it is to tolerate. Wow. Nope. It's pretty easy to tolerate. I can't find anything wrong with it. Well, that's as close as you get to perfection on two wheels. It's quite good. It's really good. Okay, I want one. Bad. You know, I test rode one of these 10 years ago, and I just don't recall it being this good. The old FJR I test rode was so front heavy. So front heavy. I mean, it was actually a pain to deal with. Whatever they've done, they've fixed it, because it's been a while since I've ridden one of these. This is obviously a 2023. It's come a long way, baby. I mean, if you want your life to just be easy, and you can go fast when you want to go fast, and slow and chill when you want to go slow, and have a bike that is so competent for you. Wow, 60-inch wheelbase. I mean, it's 2 inches longer than a ZX14 for the stability. I think this is 60.8 on the wheelbase. And that makes a huge difference, actually, when you're going really fast in a straight line. And there's little things like, I love this. I really do. I like that whole cowl coming down like that. I just can't find anything wrong with it. And I want to maybe make the headlights more tough looking, less smiley, more angry. Maybe I'd have done that. That's about it. I can't think of anything else. I'm not worthy. And that's my review of the FJR 1300 ES. Remember, pray before you go. Put Jesus on the front. TG MotoRider, signing off.